So I sold my 6.7 liter Power Stroke for this 7.3 Godzilla. It's still a beast. It does have the 397 dual alternators. It is a STX crew cab truck, but look at this trailer that we're towing regularly with this truck. This is no little trailer. Check it out. It's got a big tongue on it. We're running 1,000 pounds, I believe, on the tongue rate right now. This is a weight save hitch. We're just a hair over 1,000 pounds of tongue weight. By the way, love those weight save hitches. But this thing, I mean, it's a full commercial grade trailer. We got the heavy duty tires, 8 lug, 8K axles with the 17.5 inch tires. Heavy duty. This trailer alone weighs 4,000 pounds with a 500 pound tongue weight. But right now we're loaded in the nose and we're at about 1,000 on the tongue. So looking in here, this is only about halfway full, but right now we're only really filling it half away because as we continue to work, our machine, it usually sits back here and our load ends up over here. So we've got to go and dump this. So let's go ahead and get in the truck and see how it pulls the weight. So driving a 7.3, pulling this load, it's actually doing really well. Now, the reason I want to make this video is because so many people have commented on the videos saying that this truck, I made a huge downgrade by going to the 7.3 from the 6.7 diesel. Now it's gas. I want to kind of talk about, some of the pros and cons of this setup versus the diesel setup that I was running before. So, number one con with the diesel is going to be your maintenance. You have to do so many more things, and so many people who buy diesels do not know about all these things that need to be done different when you have a diesel. You have to change your fuel filters, preferably every other oil change, and you will be blown away by how many people buy a diesel who don't need a diesel, and they end up never changing their fuel filters until their CP4 pump goes bad, or the truck blows a fuel filter, the upper one, the one that's plastic, blows up and leaks fuel everywhere, potentially causing a fire, things like that. So the thing with the diesel is it is very hands-on, and unless you need it, then you shouldn't get it. If you really want it, make sure you are interested in your truck. For me, towing what I tow, doing what I do, I do not need a diesel, but I do want one, and I'm very interested in my truck. I'm on top of my fuel filters. I'm on top of my DPF regen cycle. I'm on top of every aspect of a diesel truck, and the reality of the diesel is it breaks down more often. Even though you're on top of everything, you're gonna have a check engine light, you're gonna have an emissions related problem, potentially going to a D-rate, whatever. So is it better as far as the power and all that? Absolutely. It's like a sports car. It's 1,050 foot-pounds of torque, and whatever it is on horsepower, 475 or something, 450 horsepower. But that 1,050 foot-pounds of torque, the vehicle is very high performance. It's like a race car. It's totally worth the money. It's totally worth the it's worth all of it. Why do people buy Corvettes? So either you need a diesel or you really want a diesel, and you're actually going to pay attention to the vehicle. If you're not constantly thinking about fuel, like what kind of fuel am I getting? Oh, I accidentally put gas in my diesel. If you accidentally put gas in your diesel, then you shouldn't have a diesel, because these kind of things aren't on your mind. And it's not saying anything about that person negative. Like, I'm not saying that you're mentally challenged or anything like that if you put gas in a diesel, but you're not thinking about your fuel. For me, every time I put fuel in my vehicle, not only am I not going to put diesel in my gas or gas in my diesel, I am thinking about my fuel, whether or not I'm running regular, mid-grade, premium, or diesel. Like, it's something that is just not possible for me to really do, putting the wrong fuel in the vehicle. For me, wait a second, we're getting on the freeway here. Beautiful sound of 7.3. And I'm not in tow haul. I forgot all about tow haul, but I think the truck knows what's going on. But so that's the thing. If you're not going to be paying attention to your fuel, it's like people have their things. My thing is my truck. I love my truck. I'm always thinking about my truck. My thing is not my cell phone. I do not have a new cell phone. Sometimes it's just dead. Sometimes, it's not on my head. It's not in my mind. My cell phone. It could be 3 generations old. And until I need a new phone, absolutely need a new phone, then I won't get one. Some people, that's how they are with their trucks. So for those people, go for the 7.3 because it's going to do your work. If it can do it, get the 7.3. You won't have to think about it. All you have to do is change the oil and put gasoline in it. You don't have to worry about the fuel grade, whether it's premium. Looks like we're hitting some traffic here. Whether it's, you can just run regular fuel. You can change the oil with synthetic blend. Now, for me personally, being a YouTuber, having a diesel, granted, there's a lot more things that go wrong and there's a lot of things to do. But that's content for me. So having a diesel for me is much better than having a 7.3 gas. I mean, I could talk to him blue in the face about how reliable and good and great this motor is, but at the end of the day, I don't need to modify it. I don't need to open the hood on it too much, aside from the checking the oil. There's not too much. So the biggest con for me is that there's not a lot of things to do to the 7.3 because it is so good and it is so reliable. The 6.7 is not as reliable as the 7.3. It has tons of failure points inside of the engine. You have the cold side charge pipe that can blow out. You have the CP4 pump failure that can take out your entire fuel system. And you can also provide or buy yourself a disaster prevention kit, but with the 7.3 you don't have to think about that. Now there's also the added costs. The high output that's available is going to be available in 2023. That engine is going to be $12,000 premium. I'm trying to get over. There's a car on my right. Dang Kia drivers. That engine is going to be a very high premium. The high output 7.3 or the high output 6.7. Also, the normal 6.7 is at least $10,000 premium. So, as from a financial standpoint, for the most part, unless you're hot shot trucking or anything like that, the 7.3 does make the most sense financially. Now, having a diesel, there's still nothing wrong with that if that's the fuel that you burn. Maybe for some reason you have diesel at your shop. Maybe you're in construction. Maybe you drive far enough. Now there's arguments to be made for the diesel. The way that it runs, the way that it idles, you don't really want to idle a diesel anyway too much, but they do idle much more efficiently than gasoline port injected engines. Being that they're direct injected, they can idle for long periods of time without burning a lot of fuel. For example, when I plow snow in a diesel, I can run that truck for 2 days and not need fuel. With the gas engine, I can run it for a day and need fuel. But I won't turn the diesel off. I won't turn the gas off either. They'll both run the whole time. But the diesel won't burn fuel because it idles very, very efficiently. It doesn't need as much fuel in the cylinder to keep the engine running. You do need to high idle the diesel engine in order to keep the heat, the temperatures inside of the combustion chamber high enough to keep the diesel happy, to prolong its life, to prevent wet stacking, where there's not enough heat it's not enough heat in the cylinder, because diesels don't run off a spark plug ignition. They run off of compression. Hold on, got a call. Spam. Reject. Diesels don't run on sparks. They run off of compression, and the compression actually ignites the fuel. And if the cylinder's not hot enough, the fuel doesn't burn well. So you need to high idle a diesel in the cold, which is fine. It idles so smooth. The 6.7 idles so smooth. Kick it up to like 12 or 1300 RPM, and it can run the whole night and not burn a ton of fuel. So if you're gonna have a diesel, you could make the argument that, hey, it can idle better, it can have a pro power generator on it, save my power and my house goes out. I can run that truck all night long on high idle and not burn a ton of fuel and not feel too guilty that you did that. With a gas engine, you could do it as well, but I don't know if I mean, it's doable, and it's gotta get over. It's doable, but it's a questionable. I mean, I guess it's fine too, but you can make the argument that that's better for a diesel. For me, I do like the convenience of running my diesel all night and not having to worry about fuel. But anyway, I gotta pause this because I'm running out of battery or memory here, and I gotta hurry up and get to the dump. Anyway, see you guys at the dump. So I'm here at the dump, and the person that runs the place here was saying, you've got a really nice trailer. It's actually a woman. She's saying, you've got a really nice trailer, and those are really hard to get right now. You could probably sell that thing and make a profit because it looks like a big concrete trailer, and there's just leaves in there. And I was thinking, like, yeah, I bet I could. At the time when I bought this trailer, they were not available, so this was the one I had to get, and it ended up being a little bit more heavy duty than I was looking for. But in my eyes, you can never have too heavy duty of a trailer, so I ended up grabbing it. It was like $15,000 in 2021 when I picked it up. So yeah, so there's another guy with his trailer right there, and that's not a dump trailer. It's just old Chevy with a leaf blower. So the thing is, I've been packing these in here, packing them in, and they sit there and they shrink when you sit there for a little while. They sit there and shrink up, and then they get denser. And yeah, but anyway, I gotta pause this because I'm running out of memory. So touch base in a second. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dump this out. Number one, gotta pin back the doors and actually back up a little further. So I need to mount a camera on the back of this trailer. That way I can know better how far back I am. I'll back up some more. Back she goes. The worst thing I can do right now is get a flat tire, though. How bad would that suck? Alright, looks good enough. Hopefully there's no tricks in the trailer. Sometimes you dump and they don't want nothing mixed in here. You got a trick, like a stick or something in there, they'd be pretty upset. Alright. Up she goes. Oh, how bad would it suck if the battery died right now? Oh my goodness. It sounds like it could use some love, but it's okay. I should put 2 batteries in there. What's nice about this trailer, it has that little storage, so I can put a chain in there. But what I need to put in here is a very long jumper cable, so if I ever have to jump the whole deal, battery dies, I can hook it up to the truck. Because nothing worse than being at the dump and no freaking ability to dump, and you gotta shovel everything out. It's crazy. Sucks. Happened like last month. But yeah, up she goes. Nothing better than a dump trailer, guys. Wait a second, I barely heard anything slide out. Oh no, this happens literally every time it gets stuck in there. So I'll show you a trick that you can use to get this out. Hopefully I have, yep, I do, a shovel. So what I like to do is I'll take my shovel, and I got one hand, so bear with me. Take my shovel like this, and I'll reach up there, but it's too high, so I've got to lower it just a little. Now the cool thing about this trailer is it's gravity down, so being gravity down, it just drops down. So let's see what that did. If that worked, we'll see. Go up some more. That might not have worked. It didn't seem like it. So if that don't work, you can also joust it a little. See what happens. Alright, so basically what needs to happen is I gotta step on the gas and hit the brakes. So let me put it in drive, go forward, and let's see what happens here. Put it in reverse, get some momentum, brakes. Then put it in drive and see if that'll slide out of there. Alright, let's see what happens. Do I need the shovel now? Like, what's going on? So it slid down, but it's like stuck in here, right here. So it's all like a brick. All that compacting and compressing that I was talking about, it's coming back to kill me. So yeah, to get that out, I had to bust out all the stops. Probably shouldn't push it so hard before I dump it. Like I said, that stuff ferments in that trailer for a while. I mean, I put the stuff in there, and I was even thinking about packing it in there some more. But the more you pack in there, the harder it is to get out. So I don't really need to go too crazy. Maybe I need some of that Amsoil Mudslinger stuff in order to really get it out. But like the woman that runs this place, she was saying, look at the setups that you see coming in here. You've got Elite, you've got Russell, and yeah, my setup is like one of the nicest ones when it comes down to it, as far as looking expensive. That truck there, with just those sides built up, can probably hold as many as I can with the trailer and with the machine in my trailer. Mine's not really built up. There's another car. Come on now. Now I got that stench. So I had to get up in that trailer and push that stuff out. I got that stink on me. Ugh. So yeah, they must have just used tarps to pick everything up. Alright, here we go. But yeah, the 7.3, guys, isn't... listen, guys. For the people that say the 7.3 isn't a good engine, it's not going to compare to the 6.7. There's things about this engine that are better than the 6.7. It manages heat better than the 6.7. 6.7, constant fan clutch. You know, the temperature rises very, very quickly with the 6.7 when it's working. This engine has never seen the temperature go above where it's at right now. It manages heat. It's such a big engine, and it's just never really stressed out. Now, it doesn't have the torque and the power as the 6.7. It can't be as efficient as the 6.7. So my thing is this: if you're gonna put the miles on it, you can probably justify the 6.7. No more traffic. See, if I had a 6.7, I would have just pulled out. Not worried about the gap. I would have had the power. But if you're gonna put a ton of miles, if you're gonna put 80,000 miles on the truck in 2-3 years, by all means get a 6.7. But for a very low mileage unit, for me, I sold my 6.7 and it had 20K. I don't need a 6.7. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. So far, loving the 7.3. Very happy. MPG 9.2. It always says 9.2, and I'm either towing or speeding, so that's what we're getting. But anyway, this is Sean. This is DS Trucks. See you guys in the next video. Over and out.